we're going to probably review a few questions anyway. All right, I'm going to present my screen. I'm going to get the quizzes put on the board. 5.
The password is...
All right, so here is our game code. Go ahead and join. Use your first name and initials or something. Just make sure it is your name. And go ahead and get logged in, please. And go ahead and get logged in.
This is a new computer. I don't know
Okay, we need about 3 more people in. Guys, focus on the emojis like later, not when we're in the middle of trying to do something. You guys can do it later, I guess. Or maybe not. But for right now, just get it in the game. Yoshi. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, my thing started without.
What was it? Is it you?
Okay. From what I can tell, we're missing, so 1, 2, 3, 4. We're missing 1 person. Skylar, are you in yet? You are? Are you Sans?
Yeah.
Okay. Who are we missing? Missing 1 person.
November 26th. No, that's not me. That's probably.
It's someone in class.
Because his birthday is on that day.
Maybe I'm not missing anything.
I am.
I'm aware that Jada's not here, guys. I can see that. Okay, well, I can't figure out who's missing, so.
This sounds like Stranger Things.
Alright, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So, this one is all about solving equations. So the one-step equations, you're gonna try and get the x or the variable all alone on one side. So you're gonna be solving just like we did yesterday. There's 15 questions. I'm just gonna give you guys some time to work on it. And I'll probably stop it in like 10 minutes maybe. I don't want to go for too long. We'll probably review a couple of them after. Other than that, we got a little bit of notes after that and we'll be done. So here we go. Okay, take your time. Work them out, please. Let me see it. It's 1/2 x. So it's 20. Okay, take your time. Good. What?
Oh my God, this is a hard one. I don't know how to do this. So when I go, I don't know, and I go, Yeah, that's the one that I have. Oh, you have to. Not like that was only just like 6 seconds, and then he's done. Yes, we're done. Sometimes Johnny, I'm gonna look at him over here. I'm done. It's done. Isn't it this one? Yes. Jesse Carden. What? Oh, okay. No, let me get it. I only got one wrong so far.
Good. This accuracy is looking pretty good, guys. Keep it up.
Oh my god. That has to be a hard one. No. I don't know. No, I'm never gonna get to line now. I'm going to this one. Oh, okay, what's the heading? Okay, now I'm doing it. Hey, I was in second place. Done. I'm not done, Alex. Not hard. Alex.
You guys are doing pretty good. Keep it up.
I got a 46%, 8 out of 10.
Bro, it was a middle one. I was confused. I was just hard. Oh.
This is algebra, yep.
I was so close to getting the door like that. It was kind
You guys are doing good with this. Keep it up. I know. Let's see if you guys can get to 75% correct. That'd be awesome. What? I was gonna guess.
You know my average time was? He's gonna tell you anyway. I don't guess.
I bet your average time was less than 10 seconds.
It was 8 seconds. No,
Alex. Take a guess then on that one.
Why am I listening to you?
Yeah, why are you? Maybe you should work them out on your own instead of trusting Alex to give you all the answers.
I wasn't trusting him.
Are you sure about that? Because I'm sitting right here.
That was only that one time.
Okay, work them out on your own, please.
Go ahead. No. 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 I guess I'm like, okay. Yeah, but I got 90%.
Good?
I do too. I'm not good. That's like,
No. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys 3 more minutes and then I'm gonna end it. If you are done, sit tight and just chill and wait for us. Alex.
How am I still in first place? That wasn't a good round. Bruh, I know it. Bruh, I'm still in 11th place.
Skylar's already done. It's okay. No.
Oh my
You all got it
God.
right. Good job, I got it 66%.
Good.
I got 4 from August, 10 correct and 5 incorrect. 6.1 seconds. I'm out of that world.
Okay, about 1 more minute. And then we're gonna move on. Yoshi.
Wait, someone has a milk in their house? Wait, somebody has a milk in their house? Or a big rat?
Charlie, what number are you on?
I'm left-handed.
Okay, I'm gonna let you finish to see if you can get our accuracy up.
I've been practicing since last.
I know, I wanna see if you can get them all correct.
I've been practicing left-handed since last year.
No. The thing about giving people answers is that they don't try on their own, which means they're not learning anything, and all you're doing is just like letting them not learn. So that's why we don't give people answers. Probably.
Well, my sister asked my mom for the question, I'd be like, oh, I know that answer and I don't know it. And she'll be like, what is it? I'm like, get it out yourself. Figure it out yourself. I'm all over this. What is this? Like the high school. We have to do it online high school. No, my mom wanted me to send me to school because she wanted me to catch coronavirus. No! No! Nobody's giving her the answer. Nobody's giving you the answer. Let me just get right. I am.
Get it right, Charlie. Move down out the way.
I deserve to be an actor. Yeah, he said you didn't get it as soon as the quiz started.
Do your best, Charlie.
Read it.
Here, I got you. Don't give me the answer. Don't give me the answer. Oh, I can't say it. I think it's number B. What is it? Don't give me the answer, please. Today will be a first and third.
26 seconds. I'm gonna go teach high school. Then I don't have to deal with questions.
I didn't even know what you said.
You just know it was about you?
Huh?
Alex, take a seat, please.
I don't.
No.
I don't know any of my any of the countries. All I know is Arizona.
Alrighty. There we go. So we that's a hey, chill. That's a really good accuracy. 73% means that you guys are getting 73% of the questions correct. That's a good one. We are gonna make it a little bit harder today though. So woohoo! I'm glad you guys were doing pretty good at that. So Charlie got third, Maudie got second, and Elijah got first. What? Okay, so Maudie, Dallin, Elijah, and Charlie all mastered it, which means they got a higher than 90%. So good job on those. Let's see. Most of you guys' accuracy on these questions looks really good. So good job. All right. So those of you in class, I'm going to need you to stop talking over me. Now, we have a little bit of notes we're going to go over and do on Google Classroom. It should have posted, so you might need to reload your assignment, or what is this called? Website. It is called Writing One-Step Equations Notes. So we've been giving you the one-step equations. Now you are going to be writing them yourself. So everybody has their own copy of these Google Slides. So let's go ahead and get them opened up, please. We'll zoom in so that we can see it all. And we have a few problems that we're going to do together. And then I do have a quizzes if we have enough time at the end. But if we don't have enough time at the end, we'll probably just do it at the beginning of class tomorrow like we did today. Yes, Yoshi?
Is it the step? Questions I know because I'm writing one step.
What does it say on my screen right there? Okay. So go ahead and get these ones opened up, please, and be following along if you want to. Okay, about 1 more minute to go ahead and get these opened up, and then we're going to talk through them, work on these, and get going. So, yeah. Okay, give me 1 second. I spell what? Which, I can't hear you. B?
Or B.
Lee? Oh, okay. L. I mean, that helps me understand. L-E-A. V-E. L-E-A-V-E. Okay. Let's go ahead and get working on this. So, slide number 1 just tells us what we're doing. We're going to learn how to write one-step equations. Just because there's supposed to be an S at the end of this, but you don't need to fix it. One-step equations. Slide number 2 is directions for what we are going to be doing. So on the rest of the slides, I think there's 4 questions total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're doing 5 questions. It says, number 1, we're going to read the problem and highlight important information. So we know how to highlight on the text, on the, what is it called? Computer. So we'll highlight the important information. Number 2, we're going to write the equation that goes with the problem. Number 3, solve it and get our answer. And then number 4, we're going to check our answer, which means we're going to plug it back into the equation to see if we get the correct answer. Okay. So let's go ahead and go to slide number 3 and just go through these problems. A lot of these, I'm not going to lie, you can probably do in your head, but it's the process of writing the equations correctly that we're practicing. I know that you guys can add these and subtract these and get the answers, boom, boom, done. But the thing that we're working on is writing the equations, not just like being like, oh, I know what the answer is. Does that make sense?
Like, do we have to write it in high school or something?
You're going to be writing them all through junior high and high school. Yeah, so you need to know the basics of writing them. Yes. Alex,
Oh, we don't do the answer.
I don't need the answer. Number 1 says Cooper scored 9 points. Jim also scored some points. If the boys scored 21 points total, how many points did Jim score? So we need to first highlight the important information in here. So I'm going to make this text box a little bit bigger so it's easier, so it covers all of things. What is some important information that we should highlight? Alex, just the word points. How many points? Points total. How many points total? 21 points total. So, okay, I'm going to highlight that. Let's do it blue because blue is, oh, that doesn't really stand out very well. Let's do it.
I mean, you could change the letter color.
I know, but I don't want to. Let's do green.
Nope.
No, that's kind of worse, isn't it? Let's see.
Yeah, I'd rather do the blue.
Let's, red? No, that's worse.
Yellow. I'm yellow.
What about
Yellow works?
Yellow.
Yellow's good. Okay, thank you. So, there's 21 points total. So total is a really good keyword there. What operation, add, subtract, multiply, or divide, does total usually tell you you want to use? If you addition on this one.
Oh, I know what it is.
If you're finding the total of something, you want to add it together, right?
I know what it is.
So we know that there's 21 points total. So the 21 is like the answer to our problem, correct? What do we need to do? What else information do we need? The 9 what? 9 points is what was scored. So we've read the problem and highlighted some important information. Okay. The way that we write this is we say that under the equation part right here, okay? The equation is going to look something along the lines of Cooper scored 9 points plus however many points that Jim scored. Do we know how many points Jim scored? We can figure it out, but do we know initially? No. So we need to use a variable. I'm just going to use J for Jim. P for points works as well. You could just put X if you want to. Literally anything that represents any variable you want to use. And that will equal how many points total? Not 12. Yes, you need to type it in. There's a reason I type it. I'm not just doing it for the fun. How many points total are there? 21 points total. So our equation is 9 points plus Jim's points equals 21 points total. 9 plus J equals 21.
So we're subtracting?
So in order to solve this, we need to, so we have 9 plus J equals 21. We do need to solve this. How do I solve it? How do I get the J all alone?
Wait.
What am I going to do? We are adding 9 right now. What do I do? If I'm adding 9 to both one side, or wow.
You're gonna have to do it on the other side?
Yep, so we need to subtract 9. Sorry, hold on. On both sides to get the J all alone. So we're subtracting 9. Okay, I'm going to underline this so we get our little equal sign. So it's just like our upside down T. Okay, what is 9 minus 9? 0. So the 9s will cancel out on the left. So what are we left with on the left side of our equal sign? 0 and no. Okay, so then on this left side right here, the 9s cancel out. What are we still left with? No. The J. Thank you. We have our variable left. I don't want it underlined though. Our variable is left. J equals, so the amount of points that Jim scored It doesn't, it just capitalizes it on its own. So Jim scored how many points? 12 points. Okay. It is simple addition, but again, it's gonna get harder. There's a reason that we're writing all these steps out. As you go into 7th grade and 8th grade and high school, it gets harder. I'm not doing it just because I think you're dumb and you can't add these numbers together. I know you guys are capable of doing it. It's just that it's gonna get harder. Yeah, you don't want me to teach you the hard stuff. Not right now. Okay, and our answer is 12 what? How many points? No, points. Okay, our answer is 12 points. And then to check it, we need to plug in our answer. So we have 9 points plus, oops, hold up, sorry, hit too many buttons. Okay, 9 points plus the amount of points that Jim scored, which is what? 12 equals 21. Is that true? Good. We're gonna write true next to it just to be like, yep, check. We checked our answer and it is correct. You could probably find a check mark. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a minute to just catch up and write that stuff down.
Do we have to write points for the answer?
Yes, please write points for the answer because it answers the question of how many points did Jim score. Okay. Energy.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's what happens to me too. I feel like.
No. All right. Again, those of you here, stop talking so much, Yoshi. Put your tray on the floor, please. Okay, slide number 4. Let's do another problem. Number 2. Sammy has 13 dolls. Ellie gave her some more, and now Sammy has 21 dolls. How many dolls did Ellie give her? No, I don't want the answer. I want to know what is the important information in this slide. 13 dolls. So we have 13 dolls. Oops, whoa, hold up. I moved things, my bad. 13 dolls. That's what she starts off with. How much does she end with? She ends with 21 dolls. And we need to figure out how many Ellie gave her. So we need to write our equation here. How many did she start with? 13. And then we added some amounts to this doll collection that she seems to have. You can use E for Ellie, or you can use X if you'd like to, or you can use S for scary dolls. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to use S because I don't like dolls. And then after she added some amount that Ellie gave her, how many did she have total? 21 total. I didn't make that great. Okay. So if we were to read this equation, we have 13 dolls plus some random amount that Ellie gave her, and she has a total of 21 at the end. Okay. So that means that we just need to solve. This is another addition one. We are adding 13, so I'm going to rewrite this. 13 plus S equals 21. Okay. If I'm adding 13, what's the opposite of adding 13? Good. We need to subtract 13, not 12. 13 from both sides. Don't forget that you have to do it on both sides. Whatever you do on one side, you absolutely have to do on the other side. Okay. Once we have done that, we can do 13 minus 13, which is what? 0. They cancel each other out. So we're only left with S on the left side. Okay. And that equals, how many dolls did Ellie give her? 21 minus 13. Yes, 8. Again, I'm aware that it is simple addition, but
We have to do the work to get used to it.
we have,
I think it's just-
yep. And then our answer is 8 what? What's our label? Dolls. Good. She got 8 dolls.
Wait, is this subtraction or?
simple addition.
Well, the equation is adding, but to get rid of our addition, we have to subtract. We have to do the opposite to make it 0. Cancel it out. Okay. She didn't give her. She ended up with 21. So Sammy started with 13 dolls. Ellie gave her some amount, and then at the end she had 21 total. So we tried to figure out how many Ellie gave her. Yeah. All right. So now we need to check our answer. We started off with 13 dolls. I keep hitting the wrong button, and it's annoying. Okay. 13 dolls plus the amount that Ellie gave her, which was what? 8. Does that equal 21? Yep. So that is true. We checked our answer and it is correct. So checking your answer just means you're plugging in your answer back into the original equation to see if it works. If it doesn't work and you get the wrong answer, then you need to check your work for other things. Or maybe your equation was wrong, or maybe you subtracted or added or divided or multiplied wrong. Okay? I'll give you a minute on this one, and then we'll move on to our next one.
You have to try to check marks sometimes. Do we have to highlight them? I have to look right through.
Yes, I would like to see you highlighting things. All right, let's look at slide number 5. This one says, Allie had some pieces of candy. She gave away 10 to her friend, and now Allie only has 18 pieces of candy. How many pieces of candy did Allie start with?
Oh, I know.
So, we need to highlight some important information first. Alex, what's important information? She ended with 18 pieces of candy. Okay.
What was the last one to highlight? Like how many did Ellie give her? I think it was 13 and, wait, no. Oh, yeah. Like what was the keyword you had to highlight?
This one?
It was $13.
Okay. So we know that Allie ends with 18 pieces of candy, but she didn't start with that many. So how many did she give away? Which else should we highlight? 10. She gave 10 to her friend. Okay. Then we're going to need to write our equation. Okay.
I'll put A.
A for Allie? Yep, I think I'm going to put C for candy. So we have the variable C. She starts off with some pieces of candy. She gives away 10. What happens if you give away candy? You're subtracting it. How many pieces? 10. When she gives away 10 pieces, how many is she left with? 18. So we're taking the total amount of candy she had, subtracting the 10 that she gave away, and it equals 18. So there's our equation. I'm aware you know the answer. You don't have to tell me every time. I know that you guys can do this in your head, or you can solve it in different ways, but we're still going to write it out. All right. So to solve this, we have C minus 10 equals 18. We need to do the opposite of subtracting 10. What is the opposite of subtracting 10? Adding how many? What's the opposite of subtracting 10? Adding 10. Thank you. We need to add 10 to both sides of our equal sign. It has to stay balanced. If you add to one side, you have to add to the other side. Now these 10s will cancel out. They become 0. Negative 10 plus 10 is 0. I just clicked the underline button.
Oh, yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah.
I did a line of this one, and I did.
Okay. So on the left side, after we cancel out those 10s, what are we left with on the left side of our equation? The 10s are canceling out. What are we left with? We're left with our variable c. We're canceling out the 10 so that we get the variable all alone. So when I mean cancel out, I just mean that you're doing the inverse. You're subtracting or adding to get it 0. Because you're at negative 10. If you add 10 to that, you end up at 0. So we're left with c equals what? 28. So when we write our answer, it's 28 what? Dead pieces of candy. She had 28 pieces of candy to start off with. Good. Okay. Say what? Yeah, go ahead. So if we were to check our answer, we would plug in 28 to our equation. So we start off with 28 because that's 28 pieces of candy. We subtracted 10 pieces of candy, and does that equal 18? Oh my goodness, it does. Not sure. True. Can't tell. Good. All right. True. Yep. Okay, so these first 3 were all adding and subtracting, and now we're going to talk about the next 2 are multiplying and dividing. So we got to think about it in terms of multiplication and division instead of adding and subtracting this time. Okay, so I'm going to give you a minute to write these ones out. I don't remember what I wrote. So, all right, let's look at slide 6. This one says Juan is selling raffle tickets at a charity event. Each ticket is $6. How many tickets does he have to sell to make $114? So let's highlight the important information. What do we know that's important? He needs to make $114. That's a total, right? Okay, what do we know about the $6 though? That's how much each ticket is. That's an important piece. Okay, and we're trying to figure out how many tickets he sells to get to $114. Maybe he needs to buy something. It's also a charity event, so he seems to be selling tickets to make money for a charity. Kind of. We're writing this as a multiplication equation so that you divide to get your answer. Okay? So the way that you write these equations for multiplication is you think about it in terms of what you're multiplying. You're going to take the $6 and multiply it by the number of tickets you're selling. What we need to use a variable, right? We don't know how many tickets there are, so I'm just going to use T as my variable. Okay, so $6 times the number of tickets I sell needs to equal $114. So we need to figure out how many tickets to sell to get $114. Okay. It's a T, yeah. So this basically says $6 times the number of tickets equals $114. So 6 times T equals 114. Good. 6 times the number of tickets equals, no, you don't need to use parentheses. I would not, because the parentheses will come into play at different times instead of right now. So I would try to refrain from using them right now. Yeah. It does mean multiplication. 6 times T is what is happening here. So 6 times the number of tickets. So if we were to start solving this, hang on, we need to underline these. This part, underline and underline. Yep, because we are dividing. So we're thinking about this in terms of dividing by $6. You're dividing away that coefficient, the number 6. I don't want that underlined. Okay. Coefficient is 6. The coefficient is the number attached to the variable. So we're dividing by the 6, the coefficient. When you divide by 6 on both sides, on the left, where you have 6t divided by 6, what are you left with? 6 divided by 6 is, what is 6 divided by 6? 1 times t equals, and then we need to do 114 divided by 6. What is it? It's 19? 19. Yeah, you can. So remember, you don't have to have 1t. You can just say t equals 19. That's the same thing. So our answer here is how many tickets that need to be sold? 19 tickets need to be sold. It's both at different points. No. You don't have to use t as the variable. You can use a different one. Yeah.
I remember I got in trouble by the dude right I was sitting in front of in the movie theater. One was my buddy Teddy.
Oh, were you annoying the people in the movie theater?
So,
Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead. Yeah. Okay. Focus, please. We have to check our answer here. So we have $6 times, so I'm going to use an X like times, multiplied by the number of tickets, 19. You can't, yeah, I'm going to put the money sign just to show that it's $6 times 19 tickets equals. Huh?
I got it. I got the X.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to give about 1 minute to get this typed out. The dollar sign is shift 4 if you need it. It's on the 4. Then we have one last problem. We're not going to have time to do the quizzes today, so we will start with it tomorrow. You'll be fine. Okay. Okay. All right, our last slide here, slide number 7. This is our 5th one. It says a nonfiction section at the library has 15 shelves. So a shelf, there's 15 of them. How many total books are there in the section if each shelf holds 34 books? So we have 15 shelves with 34 books on each. We need to just figure out how many there are total. What information should we highlight first?
34 books and 15 shelves.
Good. Each shelf holds 34 books. And the library has 15 shelves. Now, what would we do to solve this? Just in general, how would we solve this? What would we do? No. Yelling things. How would you find a total number of books if I told you there's 15 shelves? Lottie?
What are we doing?
We're going to need to do division, but what would you do if you weren't thinking about it in terms of equations? How would you solve this? 15. No. 15 shelves with 34 books on each. You're going to multiply to solve. So that means we have to write the opposite type of problem for our equation. So we need to write a division problem.
I was just gonna ask.
So the way that we're going to show that, let's do B for books. Books is our total. We need to find the total number of books. Okay. And this is also, we need to underline it because the number of books divided by 34, I don't want it. Divided by 34 books on each shelf. This is really hard to write. Let's try this a different way. Is there a division sign? It might do it for us if we do b divided by 34. Yeah, or you can use a division sign, but we're dividing it, and that's going to equal 15. So we're taking the total number of books that we don't know about, dividing it by 34, because there's 34 books on each shelf, and that's going to equal 15 shelves.
Wait, but 15 doesn't equal 34 when it's multiplied.
You don't add, no. We're not dividing though. Okay, when you look at this, if you look behind me, when you start originally, this is b divided by 34 equals 15. This is the type of problem it looks like if you write it correctly. It's hard to write it correctly on a computer, right? This is dividing by 34. How do you get rid of a dividing by? We multiply by 34. So we need to multiply by 34 on both sides, not divide. This is already a division problem. The number of books divided by 34. So we need to do the opposite and multiply by 34 to get rid of it. So we need to write that down on here somehow for the solve. Let's figure that. Let's do b divided by 34 equals 15. Underneath, let's just do times 34. I just did the x. The x is multiplication. Okay, so we're multiplying by 34. 34s will cancel out on the left, and you're just left with b equals, and then we need to do that multiplication. 15 times 34. I don't know. Typed them. Is it? I don't know it. So what's 5 times 4? 20. Carry your 2. What's 4 times 1? Yoshi, that doesn't help. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 2. 6. What is 3 times 5? 3 times 510. But did you get the same answer? Oh, you should have. Alright, when you multiply, you should get that there are 510 nonfiction books in this section of the library. So when we write our answer, it should say something like 510 nonfiction books, because it's a specific type of book, right? Yep, because it says nonfiction in the question. Okay, I'm not going to lie, slides 6 and 7 and writing these types of equations that have multiplication and division are much harder than the addition and subtraction ones. So you just got to take your time and ask yourself, what is it asking me to do? And if you say, okay, it wants me to multiply, then you have to write a problem that has division in it so that you're doing the opposite and you're multiplying to find your answer. So to check this, we need to take the total number of books, 510, and divide it by the number of books on each shelf, which was 34, and you get 15. Let's check our answer. I'm going to do it on my calculator. You can for the division sign. I'll do that as well. Okay, good. That is the correct answer. You could put the division sign. 510. Insert. Special character. Start typing. Divide. Do the division. Divided by 34 equals 15. So is our answer correct? So that is, oh my gosh, a true answer. Okay, so like I said, the multiplication and division ones are definitely harder than the adding and subtracting ones, but you guys are capable. You just got to do the opposite of what it's asking you, basically. Yes, Alex. Insert? It's up here at the top. There you go. Okay. So once you have finished this up and you've completed the slides, you can get this turned in. We are not going to do the quizzes today. We'll do the quiz